Hi guys and gals, welcome back to the Eighth Wonder Investing channel. Today I wanted to talk about MARR. What is MARR and how does it relate to investing? So MARR stands for minimum acceptable rate of return, and it's a term I first heard from Phil Town actually. You may also hear it being called a hurdle rate. It may be called different things elsewhere, but whatever it's called, the concept of MARR is very important as it applies to value investing. I also like it because the term is quite self-explanatory. It is the minimum rate of return that you will accept from your investments when you make an investment. It factors into nearly all of the valuation methods that I use. MARR is expressed in percentage terms. So how do we go about finding your MARR? How do you go about finding your percentage number that is your MARR? Imagine you have money in a cash savings account, earning single-digit rate of returns. Which may be negative, after inflation. This doesn't sound very acceptable, does it? So that's not acceptable, but what is? Maybe 5%. Maybe 5% is acceptable. Wait, what can I get by doing nothing? Government T-bills or bonds. What do they yield? 2, 3, 4% maybe? Maybe not. Especially as inflation is going to erode most, if not all of that anyway. Maybe 10% is acceptable to me. But wait, hasn't the S&P 500 returned about that number annually? Very bumpily, I might add, over the last umpteen decades. Why would I bother with value investing stuff if I can just get 10% by investing passively in an index like the S&P 500? So if I want to be rewarded for all this extra effort that I'm going to put in when I'm practicing value investing, I want to get more than the market has historically given people. So what do I set my MARR at? Maybe 15%. So this is actually a very good number, 15%. And it takes into account beating the index, beating the S&P 500, and inflation. And it's not too low that it's a waste of time going after that kind of rate of return. And it's not too high either, that you're going to be pricing yourself out of most things. Because if you set it too high, then you might come up with a buy price that a company is never going to get to. Although, to be honest, anything can happen in markets if the last 2 years is anything to go by. So with a MARR set at 15%, I can then use this as a basis when doing discounted cash flows, payback time, and margin of safety company valuations, to work out what I should pay today. So if we take a DCF, for example, a discounted cash flow. So a discounted cash flow requires you to put in a discount rate, as well as smashing that like button and subscribe button. As value investors, the discount rate is our rate of return that we want to achieve. There are other discount rates that other types of investors will be putting in there, but we keep it simple. I like to keep it simple. That is the discount rate is what we want our rate of return to be in terms of a discounted cash flow. Now, we don't want to achieve 15% as our rate of return, but we do want that to be what is minimally accepted. So to work out our discount rate, and this is actually pretty much the same for the margin of safety and the payback time analysis as well. More on how these analyses work in future videos to come, by the way. So we work out what our buy price would be with a 15% rate of return, and then we apply our 50% margin of safety by cutting that number in half, essentially. So this, at the end of applying the 50% margin of safety and hammering that number in half, this works out to be around 23% rate of return, which is definitely worthwhile our time if we can achieve that, wouldn't you say? So whenever you hear MAR or hurdle rate mentioned, it's basically the bare minimal rate of return that you would want to be able to achieve. It's no guarantee, of course, but by building this into our valuations in the way I describe, we can, as Warren Buffett says, focus on the downside and not break rule number one, which is to not lose money. So that's about all I wanted to cover for this one. Please like and subscribe to my Eighth Wonder Investing channel. Any support you can provide really goes a long way to helping me reach this content out to as many people as possible. But with that said, I'll let you get back to your day. Let's all go out there and become super investors. And I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.